What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka All Fires Now. If in the last 24 hours you have seen some absolutely insane behind-the-scenes Avengers Doomsday photos with everybody in their costumes returning X-Men, guys, those are 100% made with AI. The number of times I've been sent them in the last 12 hours, the number of people I see on Twitter and Instagram falling for those photos, AI has gotten absolutely insane. Those photos are not real, and I'm really sorry to disappoint any of you who thought they looked amazing and were really excited for them to be out there. They're just not real, they're AI. That being said, there is something official that is out there. Actor Kelsey Grammar in his latest interview getting asked about Avengers Doomsday, and as we've said before, even with the best media training, every next interview with these actors for any project, they're gonna get asked about the MCU, and there is some sort of compulsion in the moment to want to answer these questions, even for a veteran actor, and twofold, the longer they've been around, the more they just don't care. That's why Alan Cumming was talking all year about what he shot for Avengers Doomsday. He's not worried about Disney or Marvel or Kevin Feige coming after him. There's a little bit of that too. With Kelsey Grammar in this case, though, he was asked about Avengers Doomsday, and had no problem sharing specific characters he shared scenes with during the film. Even name-dropped members of the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and a little bit of foreshadowing for what's to come with him and Doctor Doom, and perhaps an X-Men scene. We're breaking it all down, his latest interview, and the official reveals we could derive from them in lieu of us not getting a bunch of behind-the-scenes set photos of everyone in their costume last night, as a lot of people fell for. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That automatically enters you for the giveaways. Plus, it also really helps the channel out, especially in this day and age as YouTube's landscape is ever shifting. So again, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below if you want. Stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this interview actually came with Entertainment Tonight and was released yesterday. There's clips circulating, but Kelsey Grammar, who's playing Beast, we saw him during the Marvel's post-credit scene, talked about Avengers Doomsday, and this is what he said. Okay, in the very first part of answering this question, he references Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, and Sir Patrick Stewart, and talks about sort of the limited capacity he was able to work directly with them in the old ones, and then immediately says something along the lines of, they got to work together a lot more on this one. But I do not think he was trying to reference in any way he has scenes with Storm and Wolverine. He may have been, but the way that you listen to the quote as a whole, he immediately steers into saying and how much fun it was to work with these new actors he hadn't worked with before. I think if you listen to the whole quote, basically what he's saying is he got a lot more screen time. He got a lot more in-scene working one-on-one with the actors. That's what I think he meant in this quote. Not that Wolverine and Storm are in the movie and he had a lot more screen time with them, just that he had a lot more to do in general. Then he talks about specific characters. The first one he references is how fun it was for Beast to interact with Thor. Now this is a huge reveal. From behind-the-scenes set photos, to the behind-the-scenes actual video footage of the sets, to all of the industry insider leaks, everyone has basically said Thor's doing something different than visiting the X-Men timeline. We haven't seen anything that's indicated Beast and Thor will be sharing any scenes at all. So this is promising a full-on Avengers and X-Men scene, and two characters that really we didn't expect to see running into each other and during Avengers Doomsday. For instance, Chris Hemsworth's stunt double has already confirmed that, at least at one point, Thor's going to be at the TVA, and now we're hearing that Beast and Thor are going to be sharing screen time. I wonder if everyone won't end up at the TVA and what that means for the plot. Then going one step further, he actually said the guy from the Fantastic Four, and then immediately caught himself and corrected himself and said Pedro Pascal. That was after he referenced Robert Downey Jr. The interviewer butted in and said, did you get to work with him? And he said, sort of. We'll talk about that in a second, but then immediately said, I had scenes I worked with Pedro Pascal. Now, there have been industry insiders who have talked about a scene in which Shuri, Reed Richards, and Beast all work together to create a device, basically to figure out what's going on with the incursion, create a doomsday clock, and try to fix everything. That's what their whole goal will be, with the three of them working together. And as of right now, unless something has drastically changed outside of America Chavez, there are few, if any, on the 616 Earther timeline that can just traverse the multiverse and know where they're going in a destination. We know by the end of the Thunderbolts, if it's not a fake out and the Fantastic Four are truly upon their ship, which we think they are at this point, they know how to go from one timeline, the 828, to another timeline in the 616. And we also know from a leaked set photo, John Walker, Falcon, and what we think are Shuri are going to be aboard that Fantastic Four ship. So if you're looking for the easiest answer here and what makes sense, the Fantastic Four take a stop in the 616 to pick everyone up and then go over to what we think is the 10,005 and visit the X-Men timeline, and everybody runs into each other. Now, how they get to the TVA from there, we still don't know that part. That's, I think, part of the plot. I think Dr. Doom may be trying to race everybody there. Everyone's trying to find Loki. That's where the 10 rings come in, and if you missed our theory video on that, I'll make sure to link it down below. I'm pretty sure we solved where that beacon is going and how it plays into the plot of Avengers Doomsday. But speaking of Dr. Doom, Kelsey Grammar stopped short of saying that he had a scene with Dr. Doom. Now, again, in context, if you listen to the interview, what I think he's referencing here, you got to listen to the whole thing, is that he probably didn't share any direct lines. Like, there won't be this heavy dialogue between Beast and Dr. Doom, but there's definitely some sort of action sequence, some sort of culmination where they're sharing screen time where they're fighting. That's why he says sort of, they'll be engaged in battle, it just won't be heavy dialogue, and that's, to me, really the whole context of the entire quote, because he's talking about who he got to directly interact with, who he got to share screen time and dialogue with. So yes, Dr. Doom and Beast will be in the same place at the same time. I don't think this spells a good ending for any of them. And an action sequence or a battle for sure, but there won't be any poignant moments or any killer lines dropped between Beast and Dr. Doom, and that sort of makes sense. You'd expect him to be interacting with other characters like Reed Richards, for instance. But my final thought here is, every single time we hear the next thing about Avengers Doomsday and the official stuff coming from actors about who's interacted, it sounds like Marvel Studios is not going to miss this opportunity to mix everybody up. And I know there's some anticipation that Secret Wars should somehow be bigger and actually wider than Avengers Doomsday, but with all the characters that they have in tow, and as tricky as that's going to be, it sounds like somewhat they've learned their lesson from the sterile cameos of the Multiverse Saga, where either it's been something like Multiverse of Madness, where it was very clear that everyone standing in the same room was not in the same room, or worse, a cameo that comes isolated in a post-credit scene that promises some future involvement, but doesn't actually show them interacting with anybody in the MCU. So this is actually really good news and super exciting, and I really think just builds the hype for the upcoming trailer, where again, the big question is, how much of this movie are they going to show? You guys let me know all your thoughts down below though. I am all ears as always. Are you excited about this? Who are you most excited about seeing interact? Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. Still giving away a ton of stuff to the channel. Just be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best way to keep up with the content's always been to hit that notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms under the name All Fires with original music. Thanks to those of you who have been checking that out and supporting me. I really appreciate it. To the rest of you, thanks for checking this channel out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.